We are in volume 5 of the Bible story by Arthur S Maxwell. That's what book we're in. And we are at part 4, story 8, the call of Jeremiah. There is a beautiful painting right here by Russell Harlan, 1955, and I like his eyes. It kind of reminds me of the Jesus picture. Maybe he is the same guy, but you gotta think these books are 70 years old, and he's kind of sitting the same. And there's what this is, the image on there. And it says, the caption down at the bottom says, called by God to be a prophet, Jeremiah made a plea that he did not know how to speak. But God touched his lips and said, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. And that's interesting. I mean, I like the art way that they did. Okay. I'm just and I'm studying this while I'm looking, because that's the artist in me. It studies. Okay. Part 4, story 8, the call of Jeremiah. Among those who wept at the death of Josiah. Okay. Rewind. Sorry. Among those who wept at the death of King Josiah was Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah. Perhaps the same Hilkiah who found the book of the law in the temple treasure box. Jeremiah and Josiah may have been about the same age, for it was when Josiah was 21 that Jeremiah was called by God to be a prophet. So these two young men grew up together with the same hopes and ideals. They worked together and tried to clean out the idol worship and bring the people back to God. No wonder Jeremiah cried when his good friend died. As a boy, Jeremiah never dreamed he would be a prophet when he grew up, nor did he want to be one. He loved the Lord and hoped to serve him as a faithful priest, like his father. And yes, there is a movie called Jeremiah. I watched it a long time ago, and and it was interesting. But to be a prophet like Elijah, Elisha, and Isaiah, oh no, he didn't aspire to do anything like that. But God had his eyes on this boy. He saw that he was faithful in his duties, and he was a boy he could trust. And one day, God spoke to him. Yeah, in the movie, was a little a child, and then it was an adult. And but it's fun to watch the movie Jeremiah. Just find it, y'all, and watch it. I mean, it's interesting. Uh, okay, let's get back to the story. Surprised, such a surprise that it was, for God said to him, before I formed thee, I knew thee, and I ordained thee as a prophet unto the nations. This was like saying, I was thinking of you and planned for you before you were born. Jeremiah found this hard to believe. He begged to be excused, just like Moses when God called him at the burning bush. Ah, Lord God, he said, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord would not let him off. Instead, he put his hand on Jeremiah's mouth and said, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. This was as even more wonderful experience than Isaiah's when he was called. For a while his lips were touched by a living coal from the altar. Jeremiah was touched by God's finger, or by the finger of God. Then God that said to this rather bashful young man, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build and to plant. Jeremiah didn't feel like pulling down or destroying anything. He preferred more peaceful life. Anyway, he didn't like talking to people. Crowds frighten him. Oh yeah, they do. God understood. Patiently he said, but do not be afraid of their faces. There is no need for fear. Behold, the Lord said, I have made thee this day to defend city and an iron pillar and a brazen wall against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, and against the prince thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. What got me is I got a tear. Okay. And they will fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee. Wonderful promise, surely God could not have offered to do more for this young man who he wanted in his service. Excuse me. He would take away all his fear, all his feelings of weaknesses, and give his sagging backbone and make his sagging backbone like an iron pillar. He would make him like a city of brazen walls, which no enemy could break down. And though in the darkest days God would be with him to deliver him. Jeremiah accepted his call, and and became one of the greatest prophets of all time. Perhaps someday God will call you into his service. If so, remember his promise to Jeremiah. Let his fingers touch your lips. Let his words be your words. And don't be scared of people. Be not afraid of their faces, for God will be with you always to deliver you. And then it's a modern day for 1955 of a boy with a Bible sitting on a rock under a tree. Okay? And that was part 4, story 8. And when I say that, now what does it mean? Break time. Okay, so I'm going to break and then we'll pick up. And I think this book has, I think I saw 11. Yeah, I saw 11. So, and that means 3 more. Oh, now it's starting to do 3 more, and then we'll start on book 6. So I'll see you in a bit.